Hello, today we're going over the layer effects I use for lighting my characters and myself, like in here, here, and here. Welcome to the next episode of Drifting into Art, where we go into the techniques I use for my paintings, mostly as an excuse, so instead of sending an entire essay and receiving a skull emoji anytime someone asks, I can just send this video. The two layer effects I use the most are Glow Dodge and Add Glow, which is something I inherited from my days of using Medibang. While they do look shiny, I do want to preface here that these are techniques and methods I prefer to use to light my pieces. Ideally, you'd still want to learn the fundamentals of light and value regardless of what technique you're using. Under the hood with some of my works here, this piece for example is lit with a desaturated cyan set to glow dodge at 76%. Why 76%? I don't fucking know, I thought it was just right. This one was at 67%. For reference, here's the two of them side by side. Honestly, a lot of my colors and lighting comes down to damn, it don't look like the reference. It don't look like Jordan ever did that move. But I will try to explain how I think this works. Usually in my process, I separate materials into their own layers because of how Glow Dodge interacts with certain values and colors. For example, something like here, the skin is around the color I want it to be on, but the brighter colors are too bright and the darker colors are too saturated. So after I'm done with a rough sketch of the lighting, I would go and copy paste these clip glow dodges onto each material and edit them there. Whether it's based on how much light that material is or is not receiving, possibly even change the hue of the glow dodge to fit the color I feel like the material should be, even changing the opacity of the layer to try and get the effect that I want. The thing that you get from this is even just by slightly blurring the edges, it has this nice saturated color that covers the edges of the light shape. Add Glow is something I used to do a lot for my characters way back like 2018 or 2023. It has a more predictable way of lighting things compared to Glow Dodge where it's more straightforward. For example, here's the difference between glow dodging a dark material versus using Add Glow. There are still ways to get saturated colors from this layer effects, like using a slightly darker and more saturated version of a color. I usually reserve these for when I'm adding a subtle glow for the characters, just have a nice a bit red aura around their skin to make them feel more vibrant. Let's see all of this in action with a fan art I did of Surtur from Art Knights, the original design. Here, after going for a sketch, I start putting in the darker colors in preparation for lighting with Glow Dodge. This color palette is based off Manhattan Cafe's Night Race from the beginning of a new era. I can't show the movie since the Assassins are onto me, but it's this color palette. The dark but warm color for the skin, the brighter colors move towards more blue, and everything else follows from these two colors. Once we're done placing in the base colors, we head into using a Glow Dodge set to a desaturated yellow and airbrushing the edges of that layer using airbrush and alpha lock so the colors don't escape containment. For the redness around the cheeks and her nose, I went directly to the skin layer to color it as we put in a bit more details around her eyes. At the middle ground, I added some brushes using a hair highlight tool I got from the asset store in CSP, and then proceeding to work on the background Starry Night. We head into refinement after that, where I usually merge all the layers and copy it to paste it onto my clipboard to paste it back into CSP after returning the history to before I merged it, so I have a flat layer of the character while still preserving the original layers. Yes, this process has gone horribly fucking wrong in the past. This allows us to do a lot of things, like painting in the colors ourselves like a normal artist. Since it's just one layer, liquefying around the proportions and shit even, we can also add in some sweat here, you know, just typical single layer shenanigans. Until finally it's done. Now we get onto probably one of the things I get asked of the most, which is how do we do these goddamn special effects? This is the area you want to be your special since a lot of experimenting happen here. Different characters have different ways you could portray their powers, magic, or even speed and their stillness. Personally, I'm inspired by a lot of Ufotable's work like the 2016 Unlimited Blade works where my jaw is honestly just on the floor whenever they do any of their fight scenes, even better the Heaven's Feel movies. I'd say their work on Demon Slayer is also quite inspiring, Zenitsu's lightning effects and Tanjiro's fire effects usually come to mind. But one of my real inspirations for this has to be Huan Sang's work for El Sword. Oh my god. Growing up, I've always thought whether I could ever make skill cut-ins like this, and the answer is, well, not yet. We're getting there. Huan Sang is one of my favorite illustrators. He's even gone into work for art director for Blue Archive, and even on oh, where does he work for? Oh. Oh no. Well, anyways, right, you know, separate art from the artist, right? Based off my bias. This would be the basis of almost all the effects I do in my art. These days, I do a mixture of this and airbrushing with fingertips to achieve the effects like the smoke here in this cafe piece or the Chevrolet piece I did for Genshin Taro back in circa 1600. Or something like this, let's go in step by step. First step, a smoke shape with airbrush. Honestly, just go for whatever shape you need or like. I went with this wiggly, smoky, cloudy shape. Step number 2, fingertip towards the direction you need things to be in. Since here it's a cloud, I did a lot of cloud shapes to show that, well, it's a cloud. For something like a really exciting fire or even lightning, I would stroke with the fingertip more aggressively, although do be careful since this tool can easily turn your computer into a cycle with 100% peril. Number 3, let's use color gamut to select portions of this shape. Since we used airbrush for this, there's gonna be a lot of random patterns in this color gamut that will detect depending on what value you set here. The lower the value is, the smaller the tolerance. The bigger the value is, the more range of colors and values it will select. I chose this pattern here since I thought it'd be cool. I set a glow dodge layer above and started airbrushing there. Number 4, for the sparks, I either use a droplet paintbrush or I put them manually with a G-pen. Usually having a mixture of blurred and sharper effects can really push the sharper parts even more. So we blur out the first set of strokes. Number 5, I do one last glow dodge just so it looks vibrant, something maybe like with an airbrush. Number 6, we tone curve with these settings. Honestly, like the tone curve settings depend on what kind of effects you're doing and the kind of feeling you're going for. Sometimes you don't even need it, but yeah, here it is, it's done. All in all, there's so many ways you could do effects and this is just one of them. Again, I encourage you to learn and experiment and explore many different sources of your own inspirations so you can find your way like Soul Bad Guy to light shit on fire. Thank you again, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this one as well. Shout out again to all my Patreon ohms. Thank you for your continued support. We'll go in order of the newest to the oldest. It's okay to be old, guys. Do you feel any wiser? I feel wiser. 25 feels good, man. It feels like 70. But yeah, thank you, everyone. Here's the Patreon ohms. Krevin, what do you call you? Usually call you Krev, right? So I'll just go with the whole name. So Krevin X, Max, Dan Symbolic, Top Hat Diny, Linny the Red Comet, Magical Shion, Usman, Endrick, and Lily. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a good one. I hope you have a good New Year. Oh, it's probably past New Year by the time this is recording. Yeah, I hope you have a good Valentine's. I hope you have a good birthday. I hope you have a very happy Halloween. Okay, take care, guys. Bye bye.